All right, so this is another bad movie review. This is going to be of Space Jam from '96. I remember watching it a bunch of times when I was a kid, and I liked it back then. I guess there was a couple things I didn't like, which we'll talk about, but for the most part, I liked it. It's pretty much just it's just the gimmick, really. It's Michael Jordan playing Michael Jordan, and he's playing basketball with some Looney Tunes characters. It's directed by Joe Pitka, and so basically, um, it starts off with Michael Jordan. He's playing basketball with his dad. He says he wants to play baseball after he plays basketball. That has almost nothing to do with the movie and never really comes back up again, other than he does play baseball after he gets done with his basketball career. And so he's playing baseball now, but he sucks. But all the people that are, all his teammates are just constantly simping for him.
All right, good hustle.
Good cut, Michael. Good cut.
That was a strikeout, Mike? That was a good-looking strikeout. Real good.
I mean, you look good when you strike out, man. When I strike out, man, it looks nasty, man. At least you look good, man. Good look.
Oh, hi, Mr. Jordan.
There's this publicist character that follows him around that's annoying as shit. Stan Podolek, played by Wayne Knight. So that's also a thing. So when he goes missing, he's always looking for him. So there's this other planet. It's like Moron Mountain. I think that's what it was called, and it's this amusement park type thing. And the head guy, the head boss that runs the place, him and his cronies or whatever, they see the Looney Tunes on TV. Yes, somehow the Looney Tunes exist, but they're on TV. We'll get back into that. He sees them on TV, so he wants to, pretty much just kidnap them and have them be entertainment for his park because it's not doing too well right now. So the little guys that work for him go down there to get him. Bugs Bunny tricks one of them into being like, oh, well, we have to be able to defend ourselves, right? So they see how short they are, so they decide to challenge them to a basketball game.
Small arms, short legs.
Not very fast.
Tiny little guys.
It can't jump high.
In a way that doesn't really make any sense at all. The little guys that later on become the Monstars, they take the talent from some basketball stars, Charles Barkley and some other people, and that turns them into their big versions where now they can play because they have their skills and they have other personalities where I don't know where they came from. Maybe it's just from the confidence of being big because they didn't get it from the players. And so the Looney Tunes now need a little bit extra help, so they essentially kidnap Michael Jordan to play on their team. He has no reason to want to really play with them. It would have made more sense if he was there specifically because he wanted to get the powers back or the skills back for those players, because it's pretty much fucked up the NBA. But that doesn't come into play till later on. He doesn't really train them because he's their coach or whatever. Yeah, he gives them pep talks and it's kind of cheesy, but he doesn't really train them. The only one that really knows how to play is Lola Bunny, who kind of has a little bit of a feminist thing, I guess, going on because they call her Doll, even though I don't know if Doll was still a thing in the 90s, but whatever. She's clearly supposed to be kind of like a hot character. I think Tweety even called her hot. But they kind of play around and do their little Looney Tunes stuff. They do these little like exercise dances and stuff like that, just a bunch of goofy shit. And I guess it makes sense because when they go to the actual, when you go to the actual game, they suck until they drink like this water, which they think is going to help them out. But really all it does is, I guess, give them the confidence to just blatantly cheat. I mean, they are just like doing it all at that point, like blowing the Monstars up and all kinds of other stuff. So yeah, it goes to this final game. They're doing bad, but then they do a little bit better. Then they're doing bad again. He's trying to pretty much up the ante where he'll be enslaved, but if they win, then they get to, get the other players' powers back. And they've been kind of dealing with that whole thing in the real world since then. But he's able to stretch his hand because he realizes that, things work differently even for regular humans in the Looney Tunes world. And Bill Murray comes up, and he's really just there just because, I don't know, maybe he had nothing to do. So he was like, hey, yeah, I'll be a part of this movie. And they win. He goes back to be shitty, I guess, at baseball some more, but then he goes back to playing basketball. And that's pretty much it. This movie, I want to say it's badly written, but really it's just kind of not written. Things aren't really developed, really. But let's get to positives. The Looney Tunes are funny. Like there are some funny moments with them, especially when they're actually playing basketball. Like it's cool. Like you see these Looney Tunes, they're doing all this weird, like crazy stuff. Bugs is riding on like a scooter to steal the ball, and like Pepe Le Pew, who's barely in the movie, he uses his smell to knock them out so they can start, scoring some points. So it's kind of fun in that way, especially I guess for kids, and it was for me when I was a kid. So there's some good stuff there. The animation looks really good on the cartoon characters, the Looney Tunes. That animation's good. The songs, like I Believe I Can Fly. Hopefully that's okay for me to praise R. Kelly, in this day and age. But with everything going on with him, but I Believe I Can Fly. That's still a classic. And there's the other songs that everybody knows. Come on and slam and welcome to the jam. Like that stuff is still really good. That's the main stuff I remember because I haven't seen this movie since I was a kid. So that stuff is pretty catchy and good. That's probably the most I could probably say that's positive about this. It's poorly written in that it's really just the gimmick of Michael Jordan just playing with with these Looney Tunes characters, and that's about it. Like there's world building that you could probably do with this when you have Looney Tunes that actually exist in the world, kind of like Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but they don't do it. Like they live inside of the earth. I guess the humans know about it because the kids see the Looney Tunes. They don't seem to really react all that much. The movie itself isn't even that long. It's only an hour and 18 without credits. It's an hour and 27 with credits. It's not even an hour and a half with credits. There's parts of the movie that are blatant padding, even with it being as short as it is. There's still padded stuff. The stuff with the dad at the beginning didn't need it at all. The intro part where it's got the song going on, that was a little too long. Seeing the athletes that got their powers taken away or their skills taken away, we didn't really need to see too much of that. Like you got a montage, like, and the characters are making absolute fools of they're actual basketball stars. They're actually making like complete fools of themselves. I don't know. I guess maybe they thought it was funny, but they got that going on. But then also you got them looking into like a crystal ball with a fortune teller. It's like that you didn't need that stuff. It's very much supposed to be on the side, and there's a little too much of it in there.
Are there any other areas besides basketball where you find yourself unable to perform?
Yeah. No.
They take those guys' powers, and the way that they do it is they just can turn into like little liquid that doesn't even look that good. The CG animation is bad. They don't look that good, and they just go into them and they can just take their powers out. Is this magic? Is this just something that they can do because of their species, or is it technology? I don't know. And then they trap it into a ball, and then like it's just a regular basketball, but then they can trap it in the basketball for some reason. And then Michael Jordan even knows later on. He's like, hey, put it back in the ball. I was like, how does he know that it goes into the ball? There's so much of this that doesn't make sense. There's so much. Bill Murray and Larry Bird, they see Michael Jordan get sucked into the golf hole on the golf course, and they just walk it off. Like, oh, I guess he wanted to get away from that guy or something. Oh, hey, yeah, let's get out of here. It's like, what? Like, the kids don't react that much when they see the Looney Tunes are real and they're standing right there, trying to get his basketball shorts from their dog. That was a really cheesy scene, by the way. What is the dynamic with the humans in the cartoons? The cartoons, for some reason, they have a TV show, but you never see cameras or anything. And they know they're on a TV show because they stop it because they want to have a meeting to talk about the aliens taking over. Like, how are they on a TV show? They know that they're owned by WB. Like, they actually show that in the movie. It's like, what's that deal that they have with WB? I mean, there's so many questions here that they don't answer because all it's about is just Michael Jordan playing basketball with some Looney Tunes characters. So much of this is not explained. Bill Murray comes in, and Bill Murray is like, he's just having a good time. I guess everybody is, but him especially. He talks about, he just shows up at the end when they need another player. And they ask how he got there, and he's like, oh, well, I'm friends with the producer, and that's how and I guess it's supposed to be a meta thing, but I think it's legitimately like the whole reason why he's even in this movie at all. Like, I really think that. And then there's even a part where he just looks directly at the camera too, which is just great. And there's a really bad joke when he first gets there too.
Dun, 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 dun! Whoa, whoa, whoa! I didn't know Dan Aykroyd was in this picture.
And Charles Barkley and them, they can't act. But the worst person, and only because he's the main character, is Michael Jordan. He is not a good actor. He's already pretty bad early on when it's just, acting against, with other people. When he has to act against those cartoon characters, those Looney Tunes, it is completely unconvincing. It's so bad. Like nonverbals and line delivery, just awful.
We need your help!
Yeah, but I'm a baseball player now.
Right. And I'm a Shakespearean actor. Lemony fresh.
You guys are nuts.
We gotta fight them back. We gotta take it to them. We gotta get right in their faces. And what do you say? Are you with me or not?
The Monstars are annoying when they're small and when they're big. There's just a lot of things in this that just don't really work. Like Michael Jordan gets to the Looney Tunes world around 30 minutes. The movie itself, like the game that he does with the Looney Tunes, it's over at around an hour. Like it really could have just been a special or something. It didn't really need to be a movie at all. It doesn't have enough for a movie because they didn't write enough. I mean, that's just what it is. I'm probably gonna end on this, right? There are two moments in particular where they decide they want to show us the most horrifying animation like ever. I guess it's CG animation. There's one where Michael Jordan gets put into a ball and they like bounce him around the basketball court. It's honestly awful. It's so horrifying, but that is, at least that's over pretty quick, and it's not nearly as bad is when the publicist character, the guy from Jurassic Park, absolutely annoying the entire movie long. He was really getting on my nerves. He's probably the most annoying part of it. Also the music, the little sound effects and stuff like that, everything has to be really goofy, even in the real world, and that was kind of getting on my nerves after a while. There's a part where he gets flattened, and he also, scores a point during that, so I guess it wasn't completely worthless to have him go in there and play. And they take a hose or something and blow him back up. It looks disgusting. It looks disturbing. I remember not liking that even as a kid. I mean, what the fuck? I mean, whose idea was that? It was terrifying. I mean, it looks so bad. Ugh. It was just, you didn't have it. You didn't have that kind of animation to pull that off, I think. I really don't think so. It's very uncanny. It's probably one of the ugliest things I've seen, probably. It might haunt my nightmares for a little while. It's still, it's mostly, like I said, just not really written all that well. And some of it is just kind of ridiculous and goofy to a point where it's just kind of annoying, especially like the real world stuff, because the Looney Tunes stuff you give it a pass, even though some of the Looney Tunes stuff isn't very funny, but like Daffy was making me laugh a couple times, and there are some good moments, even with Michael Jordan, even though he can't act like at all in this. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. I'm still gonna give it a rental because I did laugh a few times. It was annoying me, but I got through it pretty well, and it's still pretty nostalgic for me from when I was a kid. So yeah, that's it. That's Space Jam. That new movie looks like it's going to be even worse. They've thrown all these other characters in and all this other shit, but whatever. That's Space Jam, and I'm done.